Yo, yo, yo! What's up, RECN family? I'm here in my house, obviously. Give you a little quick tour. Oh, there's my cute little puppy. This is Petey, everyone. Just waiting for a couple people to get on. I know probably most of you will be on the replay, but hey, anybody who comes on here, there's Petey. If you could just let me know that you can hear me. Actually, I don't know if I can see comments while I'm doing this. Hang on. Oh, I can see. Okay, wait. Okay, I don't know how to see comments while I'm doing it horizontal like this. So maybe just say, oh, okay. Brenton, can you hear me? Anybody watching this, I want to make sure you can hear me because I have my little Bluetooth on. I don't know if I can see comments though. I hope I can. So I'm assuming you guys can hear me. Oh, there you are. Oh, you said swipe. Okay, let me see. Oh, there I am. Perfect. Thanks, Brenton. Yo, guys. So yeah, quick tour. There's my little dog, Petey. Got the piano over here. This is all sorts of fun, real producer stuff. We got the kitchen over here. It's a little private tour. I'm not going to go to the rest of it. So before I get started, well, this actually is kind of getting started. I wrote a little rap for you guys. Are you excited? I love to rap. Some of you guys know this because I've done it before and you've been watching through various other mediums, but I just wrote a short little rap in the last 20 minutes or so. So I wanted to perform that really fast and let us dive in to the nitty gritty. So you ready for this? I don't have a beat. I'm just gonna kind of rap a la carte, or not a la carte. What's the word? Without a beat in the background. So ready for this? Yeah. Come on. Yo, hey everybody, come on and tune in. We finna get started, let the fun begin. Welcome to my secret laboratory, where I'm doing my first ever RECN story. I'm here to share a bit of my life journey. I ain't no expert, doctor, or attorney, just a Baltimore girl with big aspirations. Wait 1 sec, I need some hydration. Much better. Some may call me quite the go-getter. Listen, I wish I could rap the whole video, but it's time to end my little ditty-o. What do we think, guys? What do we think? If you missed the rap, you're going to have to watch it on the replay. That might be the highlight. I need to see some comments or some hearts or some something. Nora, did you see that? All right, good, because I was really proud of it. I wrote it last minute, so I was hoping you guys would be impressed. So, before I talk about some just things that happened this week, some of you who may join us are responding to the Facebook post I put up to join us, and I thank you. I just saw Katie Katzberger came on. I love you, girl. And if so, then you probably don't know much about RECN Stories. So, RECN is this amazing entrepreneurial organization. I don't even know how many years ago it was created, founded by Brenton Hess, who's on here right now. And I mean, it's a ton of young people, but not limited to young people, but it's really started by a bunch of millennial guys who started a real estate club in college, and it just kind of merged into whole different forms. But right now, this RECN Stories is really just a platform that different entrepreneurs, or it could be people who have jobs, you don't have to be entrepreneurs, but people just come on here and share their journey. And it's more about documenting than creating. And what I mean by that is, it's not like we're necessarily coming up with all of this prepared content and presenting something. It's supposed to be somewhat interactive, and it's also just supposed to be kind of, I mean, literally just documenting our life. And hopefully there are some lessons embedded in there that people can take away. Thanks, Brenton. I tried. I just kind of came up with that off the cuff. So, oh, cool. We have eight people watching. This is exciting. So really quick intro. I told you guys what RECN Stories is. And just stay tuned in this group, by the way, there's different people each day of the week. And then this is just the October season, so it'll reset to all new people possibly for November and so on. So it's like we're cast members on The Real World RECN edition. It's really cool. So who am I? Who am I? For those of you watching, I know a bunch of people from my Facebook have tuned in, which I'm so grateful. Thank you. If you don't know who I am, I would describe myself really primarily as a relationship builder and a connector, really, if we have to sum it up. But if we want to get real specific and granular as to really what I do, I guess what I'm known for, we like to say what we do for work. But it's funny, those of you who are entrepreneurs, you probably know what I mean, or if you're in real estate and you just own your own business, I don't really consider it like my job or my work. It's kind of like, it's part of my lifestyle. It's just like what I am, like when you have your own business, it's kind of like, it's part of like who you are. So I don't really consider it my work. Like it's kind of part of my identity in a way. So what I actually do, I really focus on 3 different ventures in my world. The first one I'll mention is kind of the most long-standing venture that I'm most known for, probably because I've been doing it the longest. So the last almost 10 years, I've been selling Cutco knives. Cutco knives. Anybody on here know some Cutco knives? Katie, if you're still on here. Nora, I know my people know some Cutco knives. Oh, look what we have here. This is my granddaddy set. Aren't you guys jealous? You guys know I have to have the biggest set ever. Oh, and Matt Pivick too. Got some knives on here. So I've been selling Cutco since 2008 when I was a little baby in college. Chris Neal's on here too. Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. We're getting some people on here. So selling Cutco since 2008, and I used to sell to college students, or sorry, no, I was a college student. I used to sell to homeowners. So I would go into people's homes, sell them a big block of knives, not unlike this baby, and they would go on their merry way, and I would move on to the next. So what I realized after 4 years was I was kind of churning my wheels, and I transitioned to started selling Cutco, those same knives, to real estate agents. Go figure. If you're watching this and you don't know why that would be, I mean, clearly many of you on here have actually ordered from me before, but some of you watching on here may not understand why we would possibly want to send knives to realtors. And the reason is because they're always giving gifts to their clients. So it's really just diverting their funds, whatever they were spending on gift cards, wine, whatever, for their clients that just bought or sold a home with them. And they would buy Cutco, and they'd engrave it with their logo and stuff and give it as a gift. So I realized that was a more efficient way to do business in Cutco because they're already spending the money. So I don't have to convince them to spend more money than they're already spending. And they're buying them in bulk, and they're reusing them and giving them, and then they always need more, as long as they're in the business, right? So, hey Dave, what's up, Dave? Yeah, Dave just commented. He's my Cutco man. We actually used to sell together, and he's still actively selling Cutco too. So it's my Cutco family. So yeah, so I sold Cutco since 2008. 2012, I started selling to realtors, and then, which brings me to the second venture. So that's number 1. I'm still selling Cutco present. I'm just not as actively marketing. Thanks, Brenton. I'm just not actively marketing with Cutco. I'm still active and still taking orders. I'm just not getting a lot of new business because, as many of you know who have your own business, or I mean really it just doesn't even matter if you have your own business, it's really hard to focus on more than one thing and do both of those things really, really well, right? So really built a business in Cutco, but then I started the second venture, which is called Baltimore Real Producers. So Baltimore Real Producers is really a community of top producing real estate agents, and we publish a magazine for that community, and we also host events for that community and have an online community for that community. How many times can I say community? So this is it. Actually, I'm going to flip it around so you can see it even better. No, I'm not going to flip it around. Oh. So I fanned out some issues just so you can see them beautifully. So that's my baby. Every single month I feel like I had another baby. And so why the magazine? And that's a funny question because I would probably ask the same thing. And a year ago I never thought I'd be publishing a magazine. Especially in 2017, am I right? I mean, who thought that magazines would still be effective? But what's cool is really this whole magazine was created from selling Cutco to realtors. So I had this perspective selling Cutco to realtors that as a vendor wanting to build relationships with realtors, there was really no effective and efficient way to access the top producers in one community. you know, all the top producers in real estate are all grinding, working really, really hard. They're not necessarily attending all the events that I would sponsor. They're not necessarily showing face at the things I was at. And so it was really hard to get in front of them to sell to them, to market to them. So I was like, what if we had a community, a way to really have their attention? So that's kind of what really was the genesis of me doing this and publishing this magazine, because I felt like it was solving a problem. And I knew that if I could figure that out, then I knew other vendors in the industry that also market to realtors, like mortgage lenders and title companies and home inspectors, and I mean there's so many under the sun. I knew they would pay good money to access that network. So that's actually the first reason why. And what it really turned into was really a way to connect realtors with each other, not just with the vendors and vice versa, but really to create top producing realtors, create a way that they could network with each other, and not just realtors and realtors together. That there are plenty of organizations that do that. It's that it's at a high level. So this magazine actually only goes to, sorry, the lighting's kind of on and off here. This magazine only really goes to the top 500 agents in the whole community, based on production. So it's kind of cool because it's just creating this like top tier network of professionals. And so we publish the magazine. The magazine's 100% about them. I don't just make up content that I think they might think is cool or relevant. I ask them, I'm meeting with them all week, and I'm asking them, what do you want to see? What do you want to read about? What do you read about now? Who do you know that can write? Can you contribute content? And I'm collecting all the content, collecting all the ideas, and we put it together in the magazine. We tell their stories, we feature them, we do a photo shoot, we write articles. It's really, really cool. So, and then we have events for that same community. So obviously you can tell that's what I'm excited about, and that's what I'm spending probably 90% of my time on now, rather than the Cutco, because it's something I'm really passionate about, and it's something that's a huge opportunity long term that I see a lot of value in. So the third venture, coming around to the third, is I and my wife Jill have a nonprofit organization that we run called Simple Sacrifice. And Simple Sacrifice, really what we do with Simple Sacrifice is on Sundays. Of course, there's a lot of work in between to make that run. But Simple Sacrifice is basically an organization where we get together every single Sunday, starting at 10:30, and we prepare and deliver roughly 100 to 200 lunches on a weekly basis. And we make sandwiches, we put chips, we put drinks, we put little fruit snacks, we put real fruit in there, we put all kinds of stuff in there in a bag, load them in a big bag, drive over to the shot tower, which is, you know, at the base of 83, and there's people waiting for us because they expect us, and we have relationships with these people. And it's really cool. Simple Sacrifice really satisfies, really, our mission is to really do two things with Simple Sacrifice. It's really to satisfy like an urgent need, which is hunger, of course. Like on Maslow's hierarchy, that's pretty high, so they, or low on the hierarchy of needs, so they need to eat. So we're really just satisfying their hunger. But the second, I think, bigger thing is just destigmatizing what homelessness is. And, you know, if you pass homeless people on the street, a lot of us tend to want to look away, not pay attention to them, you know, because like we don't want them to ask us for money, we don't want to make eye contact. So, you know, they just feel like they're not significant. They don't feel like they're worth anything. And so there's, you know, a high suicide rate, there's a high death toll just because they can't survive on the streets, but there's high depression, you know, there's all sorts of mental health issues that go along with that. So if we can give them a lunch and not just hand them a lunch and run away, you know, we actually talk to these people, we hug them, we have relationships. It's really a powerful thing. So, by the way, if any of you want to join us, we go every single Sunday. So let us know. Actually email, I'll write it in the comments when I'm done. Email Jill at createarippleeffect.com. It's spelled exactly how it sounds. Jill at createarippleeffect.com. And she'll actually get you signed up for the next available weekend that we have that you can come and join us. We'd love you to come. So that's kind of the intro. I hope you guys got a good idea. I know it took a little longer than I thought, but there's a lot going on. So we got the Cutco, we got real producers, we got Simple Sacrifice, just craziness all over the board. So really what I want to talk about today, and we won't keep this long, they're supposed to be like little snippets. I think Brenton said it was supposed to be like 5 minutes or something like that. I'm probably way past that at this point, but whatever. So I really wanted to, I'm just trying to think about what to talk about tonight, and it's really supposed to be just documenting. So I was like, okay, well, what happened this week that is significant to bring up and maybe draw a lesson from or something? But really the number one thing on my mind, it's really been a hard week because Jill, my wife, her cousin actually committed suicide a few days ago. I think it was 2 days ago. And this was somebody that she grew up with, that she lived with. I mean, they were really poor, so they actually lived in her house for a while. And he actually was in the military, and I think certainly was suffering PTSD, and was very depressed. And so that's really on my mind right now. And, I don't necessarily have, obviously there's no solution. It's not like we can't work towards one, but it's not like we can help everyone with this. And I know a lot of people we know, and possibly anyone, maybe someone watching this, suffers from depression. It's so rampant. Ever since that happened, it was only like 2 or 3 days ago. I keep noticing it everywhere, in terms of like my conversations with people, because I'm talking about it. And, I sat down with a realtor yesterday. We were talking about a feature in the magazine, and they were like, they got teary-eyed when I told them what happened to Jill's cousin, and they were like, that happened, that my sister, same thing, basically. She was like, my sister killed herself too. And I was like, it was a very emotional moment, and it's just, you see what you're looking for, and now that like I'm aware, and it's not like I wasn't aware before, but when it happens to you personally, suddenly it's in the forefront of your mind, right? I mean, it's like anything else, like when the loved one has cancer, or a loved one has a stroke, whatever it is, it's suddenly a cause that you feel passionate about because it hits close to home. So all of a sudden I'm like reading up on depression and wanting to learn more, because I'd love to know different organizations or things that both Jill and I can get involved in that really help these people, because I mean, it's unreal, the suicide rate with depression. Not to be a downer on this, it's just, I think it's something that needs to be talked about. And I think if any of you watching this has any idea of a way to get involved, and of course I can do my own research, but obviously I love to get referrals from friends. So if you know of a way to get involved, and there's any organizations that really focus on that issue, disease really is what it is, let me know, because that's on the forefront of my mind, and it's everywhere. And so I really want to help, do whatever I can to get involved and help people in that way. So that's number one. Now, number two, on a completely different note, something else that happened this week, and this was like, you ever have one of those moments in the week where you're like it's almost like a pounding chest moment, and you're just like, ah! And you're like, honestly, like proud of yourself because of something. So yeah, maybe I don't want it to come off as like, look at me, look what I did. It's more like, it's half like female power, but it's also half just like kind of standing up for myself. And I'll just call it, respecting my time. So I'll just, for like a backstory, being in Cutco and selling to realtors for so long, and anyone who's a realtor who may still be watching this, they're busy and they're running around, they're doing a million different things. And when I had appointments with them, when I was supposed to meet them, I just kind of got used to the fact that they may at any time reschedule on me, because realtors, they have closings, and whatever is going to make them money today is a priority. So they're going to move things around accordingly to be able to accommodate their commission check, right? So I kind of got used to that mentality and just got used to being rescheduled on. I've always been super flexible with people and like, yeah, whatever, you know what, it's fine, whatever. And it's not like that's changed, by the way. I'm not setting up that suddenly I'm not flexible with people, but there's kind of like a line, right? And you're allowed to do a little bit of pushback sometimes. So what had happened this week that's on the forefront of my mind is, so I was supposed to meet this realtor. I met with him today, and we had scheduled a meeting. So just to give you backstory, this is a guy that we were going to do a feature on in the magazine. So he has a good incentive to meet, obviously, right? But that's irrelevant. It really doesn't matter what we're meeting about. It's just about respecting your and the person you're meeting with's time. So we're supposed to meet a couple weeks ago, and he has to reschedule, right? And that's the first time he's going to have to reschedule. So I didn't give him any pushback. I have to reschedule on people occasionally, and I'm very apologetic and all of those things, as you should be. But, it's impossible to be perfect and make every appointment. Things run over, things run late, shit happens, everything. So he had to reschedule. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, we set it, and then we set the follow-up appointment for today. So then he emails me yesterday, and the subject is, can we move appointment to 9:30 or 12:30? Basically, it was at 11:30, and he wanted to move it like back 2 hours or forward an hour. And basically, my response was, no, not because I was just being stubborn. It was one of those days where I perfectly stacked my appointments, and that's always the most frustrating when people screw up that perfection, but you can't help it sometimes. But I had it boom, 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 and they were all in the same location. It was at Whole Foods in Columbia, randomly got all my appointments to meet me there, and I was just going to chill there, meet, and be done for the day. And so I really couldn't go earlier or later, and I was like, you know what, I can't. So if you could switch with one of those people, and he knows the people I was meeting with by chance, so if you could switch with one of those people, that'd be ideal, but I can't. And basically his response was, well, I'm sure they're all busy, so let's just reschedule, send me some more dates. And so my response was this, and I think the biggest takeaway was, I don't need to apologize. Part of me wanted to soften this a little bit more, but I don't really need to apologize for respecting my time, right? So I just said, he was like, hey, let's reschedule. What are some dates? And then I said, quote, I don't know, man, this is the second time. I'm reluctant to block off my schedule again. A priority is a priority if you choose it to be. I think it's worth a shot to try and switch with blank, the other person that I was meeting with today, and not assume that she can't. And then, so his response was, go figure, let me see what I can do. 2 hours later, he responds with, okay, we switched, we're on, I'll see you at 1. And we had a great meeting today, and all went on perfectly. So rewind a couple years ago, or maybe even just a year ago or less, I would have just said, that's okay, let's reschedule again. And we would have rescheduled, probably 15 times before I drew the line. I was really flexible with people, and I saw that as a good quality, oh, I'm so nice, I'm so sweet, and people love that. But sometimes you got to put the hammer down. And I'm specifically talking to you ladies, right? Sometimes we got to put the hammer down, and I'm not man bashing at this point. I'm just saying there's definitely a double standard out there in the way that women are able to communicate. And sometimes what a man would say and then what a woman would say, same thing, word for word, all of a sudden it's bitchy or, abrasive when a woman says it, right? And I was like, I'm going to stop apologizing for that. And that perception, that may take decades to start to weed away, because women are now just becoming prominent. I mean, when you think about the scope of time, we're just becoming prominent in the workplace and entrepreneurship and business. So we're just starting to get to the cusp of being respected in the same way. But ladies, I'm just saying, and men, all of us, we really need to learn to respect our time. And so that was a huge takeaway. Oh, thanks guys. Thanks guys for the comments. Thanks Nora. Trisha, what's up? So those are my 2 big takeaways from the week. To sum up, if you have any connections for me on getting involved in helping people with depression, whatever organizations you may know, I've done very little research at this point because this just happened 2 days ago. And suicide prevention, it's all tied in together, right? That's on the forefront of my mind right now to help people with. And secondly, just remember to respect your time and not be afraid to call somebody out and push back a little bit. And miraculously, look, we still got what we wanted, and we had a great meeting, and nobody was butthurt about it, and it was great. So that's my entrepreneurial takeaway from my journey this week. That's about all I got. I'm going to keep this, hopefully it was short. I can't see the time stamp on here, so I don't know how long I've been talking, but this was fun. And I'll be back next Thursday for Colleen Thursdays. I hope you guys will tune in. Hope it was entertaining enough. If you didn't see the wrap, like Brenton said on the comments, make sure you rewind it and watch the wrap. I took time to write that. Maybe 15 minutes. I do love writing wraps. There may or may not be a wrap next week, so I'll leave that little teaser for you, and maybe it'll make you tune in on time. All right? All right, guys, if you have any questions, I didn't see any on here. I'm kind of scrolling through. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, Jen Novak, if you're still on here, my business booster rap, that's awesome that you remember that. You're the best. So, all right, guys, I'm going to sign off. Love y'all. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Honestly, appreciate your attention, especially late at night. And tune in next week. Mwah. Oh, wait, Eric, you just commented. Sorry, I was about to sign off. I started mentoring a women's group for junior achievement. You would be an amazing mentor. Want to come with? They're not depressed but could benefit from your experience. I'd love to, Eric. Let's talk about that. I'd love to. Thank you for tuning in. And yes is the answer. Thank you so much. I'm flattered and honored. Love to. And let's talk off air about that. Love you guys. Bye.